building the software you want to build is first knowing what needs to be built, thinking why we need to build that. And then, when you use Gen AI to build a product, we really have to think of the limitations and the capability of what Gen AI can do. And any consequences, any limitations, any uncertainty we might have due to such a tool, because Gen AI is very powerful, but also, of course, we do have limitations and unknown areas, uncertainty, where we might progress slower than what we were supposed to. Thinking wisely, okay, what I need to build now, what needs to be done, and how I can build a good software, a good application, the right way. It's extremely important for you in your career to ensure that the software you build, it's robust enough. In my case, I always have a set of a few questions. First, is this, does it have been solved already before? Is this really something we need, necessary? Maybe it was already, we have already an open source solution, or maybe it's not a problem. So first, being aware that a problem we believe we have to fix might not be a problem. And we might actually create something too complex, or we might add complexities in something where there's actually nothing. It's actually simple enough that we can use a different tool, or maybe we don't need to build a solution again. Maybe we can suggest our users to use a simple form instead of building a complex solution. Even though we use AI, now it's so easy to build something, and so we feel like we don't have any barrier, but we still have to maintain all of this. So that's my first question. The second is to ask myself, now that I know we have to build this, what would be the simplest path, the simplest way to build it, and how I would structure my prompt, and how I would get something robust. So I think already of the final result. I'm projecting myself into the final shipped version, the version that is already released. And then I do a rewind, I go backward to now, and I see all of the steps needed. And then the third one, I write my prompt, but I always think about what we want, what we do not want AI to do. Also, so AI first engineer, we used AI, of course. I use Code, I use Codex, I use a lot of tools like that. By thinking exactly what we don't want AI to build for us, is very proactive, because we can plan better the software. So I will mention what we do not want, and then also I will mention exactly all of the little details, colors, mockups. I would add a mockup in the context. I will add as many things as possible. I would even use the plan mode of an AI agent to first have a look of what it can do before writing code. And then step by step, I would maybe even, if needed, I would do a wireframe or a little mock-up before. I would maybe ask also AI. I did that in the past, to have a wireframe, a little mock-up before, kind of a prototype, but a prototype that I can visualize. And once I can visualize, I see better the real needs. And at that time, it happens quite often, you would change your mind. You think, oh no, this actually doesn't make sense. Having an API there, having the front end there, it's like trees. When we plant trees, how would we plant trees in a garden? And we have to think first before to plant the tree, and then it's too late. We have to move the tree when it's already too big. No. So where the tree is the safest to be, if there is a lot of winds, maybe we're in the area where we are, well, there are a lot of of winds and maybe you have typhoon. I don't know. You might have tornadoes and things like that. So maybe the tree should be far away from the house. And it's the same when you build an application, a software. We don't really think of all edge cases and what also might not go well, what might go wrong, and thinking exactly the steps that need to be accomplished before before it's too late. So before you write the prompt and AI doesn't really know the consequences of maybe where you want your company to be. You really want to scale. You might have a lot of users, or maybe not a lot. What kind of users? All of these details need to be added in the prompt. You can have a Claude.md markdown file and all of the details, the history, to summarize the conversation later on, also to flush the window context and to have your conversation with the LLM model more efficient. So, but it's really about what you want, what you do not want in the prompt, and all of the little details, and thinking of all of the edge cases. So that's also part of the planning, the prototyping. And then you can build. And that's really my 3 steps, the winning steps. So I wish you a happy product building day. I know you will go very far, and I know you will succeed super well. So do it today. Today is the right day to start using and having and adopting the good habits for you to succeed in your job. Then you will see after you will be able to iterate and to move to a better and better way of building software. So it's really about habits and to be aware that where you have to improve yourself. If something doesn't go well, if you have some problems, you are responsible of this, how I can improve myself and how I can be better.